Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So I have a lot to talk about today. Dan Rooney comes out and he talks about the upcoming NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Rod Woodson, he wants to know what the hell's going on, who's drafting these types of players. We have mock drafts that I don't agree with at all. I mean, the mock draft is ridiculous. They have us taking a running back. Why would we take a running back when we already have two solid running backs? Let's jump into these articles and I'll go from there. Rod Woodson. Back in the day, they would say Rod is God. That's how good he was back in the day. The great one, Rod Woodson. You see him back there on the wall, one of my favorite pictures. This is what Rod had to say. Who's been making the picks? Rod Woodson questions Steelers' recent draft decisions. Well, if you ask me, Coach Tomlin signs off on all of them. I liked Derek Harmon, the first round pick last year. I don't have a problem with it, but let's see what Rod says. Appearing on Dallas 105.3, the fan from Radio Row in San Francisco, ahead of Super Bowl, whatever. I don't know those numerals. Between the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks, Woodson questioned who has been making the Steelers picks in the post-Ben Roethlisberger era, as they still have not found a long-term answer at quarterback. Come on, Rod. Let's be serious. I mean, you know you're my favorite player, but let's be serious. That's Coach Tomlin, Rod. Just stop. Specifically, Woodson believes the Steelers made a mistake passing on former Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, now with the New York Giants. Now, you can look at my videos that I made a long time ago, even before the draft from last year. And I said, because the quarterback class was so weak, that if I had to draft a quarterback, excuse me, I'm going to draft Jackson Dart. And my reasoning for that was the conference that he played in. He played against the most NFL talent, and he played in a very complex offense at Ole Miss. And just based on that alone, compared to all the other quarterbacks, he should have been taken first off the board out of the quarterbacks. And, you know, some people like his attitude, some people don't. I really don't care about that. You know, I defend Deion Sanders for one reason. When people say what Deion Sanders sucks as a player, and they say that because they don't like his attitude, I call them out about it. You don't have to like a guy, but it doesn't mean he can't play football. Now, Deion as a coach is terrible. His kids aren't that good either as players. But for anybody to say that Deion wasn't a good player just because you don't like his attitude, come on, be serious. It's a lie. We know you're lying. And the same thing with Jackson Dart. It's irrelevant to me who likes his attitude and who doesn't. I mean, obviously that's important for the coaching staff. You know, they want to mesh well with their quarterback. But I didn't look at that at all. You know, I didn't care about if he was cocky, if he wasn't cocky. I just looked at his performance on the field, and I felt that he should have been the first quarterback taken off the board. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at my videos. I think last year was a perfect opportunity because Dart dropped in the draft, and I was a huge fan of his athletic abilities. He makes plays in the pocket, out of the pocket. He can throw. He can spin the ball. He dropped right to them. And they took a D lineman, Derek Harmon. I'm like, oh man, Woodson said. But then I'm not surprised because it's a defensive-minded, run first team, even though not with Aaron Rodgers, so to speak, being the quarterback. But normally it's a defensive-minded, run first type team, and that's not what they were this past year. The Steelers passing on Jackson Dart at number 21 overall in the first round of the 2025 NFL draft and taking Oregon defensive lineman Derek Harmon wasn't a surprise. The Steelers desperately needed to address their defensive line after getting gashed in the run game down the stretch in 2024, including allowing 299 rushing yards in a wild card loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Well, you know what? I mean, to be fair, it's not like drafting Derek Harmon patched up those problems because the Steelers, I still think, our run defense gave up an average of 156 yards a game. And the book is still out on Jackson Dart. I don't know. I don't watch the Giants at all or follow them, but I know he missed some time with an injury already. You know, he likes to run the ball like Lamar Jackson. Only problem is it doesn't seem he has Lamar Jackson's frame because he has been injured already. So Peasant, let me look at the super chats. Sorry, I just looked at them. Pesavante 916. Hey 412. How's it going? It's going pretty good. Have the sniffles a little bit, some technical problems, but other than that, it's pretty good. How are you? But the Steelers have a major need at quarterback once again entering 2026. Pittsburgh has expressed a desire to run it back with 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers for another season, and McCarthy has praised second-year quarterback Will Howard since taking the job. Woodson also went on to say, I would think in Mike's case, Mike had probably more sway than a general manager, Woodson said. In most places, the personnel person, the general manager, has more sway than a head coach normally. But in the best places, it's guys working together, right? Rod, let me just stop you right now. Rod, let's stop. Okay, let's just stop. Coach Tomlin was the one making the decisions with the players. Just stop, Rod. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Bear in mind, what were you trying to say? Then Rod went on to say, the only question is like, I think we all been asking that question. Who's been making the picks in Pittsburgh for such a long period of time? Knowing Roethlisberger is not coming back, Terry Bradshaw is not coming back, so you need a quarterback, and then they have to yet to get one. Rogex, what's up? Bear in mind, actually, I thought they had a good draft too. Bear in mind said that he thought the Steelers had a good draft. I thought they had a very good draft too. I'm not complaining at all. I guess the point of my article that I'm reading here is Rod Woodson's. You know, he's got the blinders on, and listen, he's my guy. I mean, look at my back wall. I got him all over the place. He's my favorite player as a kid. But he has the blinders on, and he's pretending like he doesn't know who controls the Steelers for the last 19 years. And that was Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin was making all the personnel decisions just like along with everything else. And Rod Woodson's like, I don't know who's making the calls around here, but they didn't get it right for Tomlin. They haven't had a quarterback since Big Ben. Well, Rod, I got bad news for you. That's Coach Tomlin. That was Mike Tomlin's fault, Rod. Let's just knock it off. Positive Poke says, yeah, we needed 4 DTs. Exactly. We needed Joe Green reincarnated the amount of yards that we were giving up. I mean, Jesus. We went from giving up 250 yards rushing a game to 156. Sounds like God, I can't talk today. Sounds like the 2007 Steelers to me. You know, it's ridiculous. Then this mock draft comes out today. Cynthia Freeland sends top running back to the Steelers in new mock draft. Do you watch the Steelers, Cynthia? Do you watch the Steelers? Do you really think we're going to take a running back in the draft? We got 2 great running backs. We don't need a running back. We need wide receivers, defensive linemen, corners, safety. We need everything but a running back. Like, what is she talking about? Like, these idiots, did they even watch the Steelers? Seriously. Mock drafts come in all shapes and sizes, but most assume the Steelers will target offensive early, usually wide receiver or quarterback. Cynthia Freeland zagged from that consensus, projecting Notre Dame's running back Jeremiah Love, the top running back in the class, to Pittsburgh in the first round. Excuse me. Love's potential impact in both the pass and run game is very high, like Bijan Robinson levels. For him to have a successful rookie season and one that's looks something like Bijan's impressive 2025 campaign, he'll need a strong O-line that will allow him to adjust to NFL speed and concepts. Pittsburgh had my 10th best offensive line this past season, Freeland wrote on NFL.com. Positive Poke says, if you were so confident in Harmon, you don't take YA Black also? I don't know about that. I mean, you need more than one. Cam's getting old, obviously. I mean, Lee really hasn't played much, so we don't really have a lot of depth there. I mean, I know Keanu Benton, I don't expect Keanu Benton to be around much longer, but I don't know about that because Keanu Benton really hasn't worked out. Logan Lee really hasn't worked out. Cam is old, so I didn't mind taking 2 defensive tackles. Positive pokes, you can't draft wide receiver Rodgers coming back, and we can't see wide receiver talent as you saw Roman not knowing the playbook for 2 years. Yeah, I think Roman is absolutely done. I mean, if you can get Malachi Lemon from USC, I don't see you have to take him. Now, this running back from Notre Dame, I watched him a couple of times. He is excellent, but I don't think the Steelers need to take a running back at all. He's a really good player, this guy. But I just think, she's not looking at the Steelers' needs. We got 2 really good running backs who are proven. I mean, Jaylen Warren is excellent, and Kenneth Gainwell is excellent too. So I don't want to go running back in the draft. Let's be serious. Police are investigating DK Metcalf altercation at Lions game. Let's be serious. Come on. Can we just stop already? Positive folks said Keanu played great game against. Yeah, he did. He had played well towards the end. Rogue X says Steelers need a quarterback. Yes, we definitely do. Police are investigating the December incident that took place between the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf and a Detroit Lions fan that ended in an altercation between the two. Per the Detroit Free Press, Christian Romo, the Detroit Police Department is taking a closer look at the case. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office also confirmed to the Free Press that Detroit police submitted a warrant request on January 21st that is currently being reviewed. Neither department revealed who the warrant request was for, while the prosecutors say that no one has been charged in relation to the incident. As the paper notes, it's unclear what the warrant is in reference to and if it could potentially be against Metcalf. During the incident, Metcalf walked over to the front row of the stands and briefly exchanged words with the fan, Ryan Kennedy. Metcalf then reached up and grabbed at Kennedy, making contact before walking away. The press adds that a Detroit police spokesperson noted police have been investigating. It's not clear. Don't you cops have something better to do? You wait 3 months after to investigate this. Now, and listen, I'm not sticking up for DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is a total idiot in this situation. He's completely wrong. He's lying through his teeth. Nobody was using the N-word. And then he doubles down and he says the guy was calling him the N-word. He's just full of shit. So I'm not sticking up for DK Metcalf at all. But let's be serious. The cops need to go do something. There's real criminals that you need to catch. Positive Poke said, if the Steelers don't agree with Rodgers to get him weapons, he will go to the Vikings. Leaves us with Flacco, Murray, Willis, or Cousins. That's the rumor that he's going to Minnesota. I mean, I keep hearing that he doesn't really like Mike McCarthy and they don't really get along and people are just saying that. It's like, dude, at this point, I like that Mike McCarthy was like, here's the deadline. Either tell us you're going to play or keep going. So I don't really care. I'm ready to just start the season. I'm ready to go. Whoever Mike McCarthy wants to roll with, let's just go. Let's see how it's going to go. And let's just go from there. If Aaron comes back and he beats out the other quarterbacks, great. If he doesn't come back, that's fine with me. Pesavante 916, would you draft Drew Aller if he really drops? Pesavante 916, I got to be completely honest with you. When I see Drew Aller, he reminds me of Mason Rudolph with Phillip Rivers' emotional like balance. Like he's completely out of control, emotional all the time. And I don't really think he's that good. Like he reminds me of Mason Rudolph in a lot of ways. That's my opinion. I don't like to pick Drew Aller at all. I watched him play a few times, and I'm not crazy about him. Positive Poke says he will not run it back just DK. Oh, he will not run it back with just DK. I mean, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe he thinks he can pull it off with McCarthy. I mean, you're probably right. I don't know. I mean, he seems like he wants to play. He's very moody, so I don't know. Sometimes I get the impression that he wants to be back, then I get the impression that he doesn't want to be back. Some people say he likes McCarthy. Other people say he doesn't like McCarthy. Positive Poke says, I don't think any quarterbacks come from Penn State either. Yeah, I'm not crazy about Drew Aller at all. Like, at all. He emotionally, he reminds me of Phillip Rivers, and physical play, he reminds me of Mason Rudolph. That's just my take. And I've watched like 4 or 5 games on him. Former Steelers receiver explains what team is getting a new wide receivers coach, Adam Henry. A real down to earth guy, a guy that's relatable. Aaron Ayers told me in an interview early this week, I think he gets the best out of his players because of how much he pours into them. He allows you to be yourself. He's really going to critique your game. Well, I remember walking in the first couple of meetings. Air said, I'm just being humble, trying to soak it up and learn from a guy that's coached Odell, Jarvis, Amari Cooper, all these guys. And I'm just amazed on how humble he was and just the type of person he was. His approach to things was as if he just got in the game and he was still hungry, trying to get everybody to respect and know what he's doing. I mean, that's a good sign. I mean, at least he's I don't know too much about him, but it's better than somebody saying something negative. So I'm not even really going to discuss that because I really, some of these coaches, I got to do a book report on and see what they're really about, see their records. Jets hiring former Steelers tight ends coach Alfredo Roberts. Mina Kimes, of course, Miss Wokeness herself. Malik Willis, he should be in Pittsburgh. No, he shouldn't. We don't need Malik Willis. Pesavante 916, what college level quarterbacks appeal to you in the 2026 NFL draft? Well, the kid from USC, the Samoan kid, but I don't think he's coming out this year. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And then I'm going full Candace Owens on you. I had a dream that in 2027, the Steelers drafted that quarterback from Nebraska, Dylan Raiola, that he's going to Oregon right now, so he's not coming out in the draft. I don't like one quarterback in this year's draft. So it scares me a little bit that the draft is in Pittsburgh. The fan base is going to want the coaching staff to pick a quarterback. And I don't think McCarthy will reach. If McCarthy doesn't see the guy of the future, I don't think he'll reach. And I hope he doesn't. And I'm not going to say I watched every single college game, but I did watch a few. And the quarterbacks that I really like, I know for sure right now they're not coming out. I like Dylan Raiola a lot, and I like the Samoan kid from USC. They're both kind of similar, big, sturdy frames. They don't get frazzled. They're very calm all the time. They got big arms. So I like both of those guys, but they're not coming out until 2027. As far as 2026, I couldn't even answer you. No clue. I got to look it up a little more. Alex Highsmith, confident Steelers can have elite defense in 2026. Already getting to meet Graham and talk with him as well. Highsmith said Friday on Ross Tucker's YouTube channel. I'm excited for what he's going to bring for our defense. We have a lot of guys, a lot of ball players on defense. I'm just excited to see us. I really think we can be an elite defense this year. I'm excited for what the future can hold. The Steelers defense finished 2025 ranked 26th in the league. While it had a lot of talent that didn't result in success, too often the Steelers defense was a liability, especially near the beginning of the season. Pesavante 916 said, thanks. No, thanks for the questions. I appreciate it. I wish I could give you more answers, but those are the two quarterbacks who I really like. I'm only saying this because Hines Ward said it, and I respect his opinion, like what he sees and what he's looking at. The quarterback that he when he coached at Arizona State, Hines Ward, he said that that quarterback reminded him of Big Ben in a lot of ways, like mentality and the way he played the game. And he felt that he should be a first-round draft pick. I don't know the kid's name off the top of my head. But if Hines Ward is, throwing out that type of praise, and he really doesn't do that a lot, I think the Steelers should really look into the Arizona State quarterback also. He might be coming out this year. Yeah, I don't know if he's worthy of a first round pick. I don't know what he's worthy of, but I think the other two, Dylan Raiola and the Samoan kid from USC, I think they're going to be first round picks. Like just based on their size, how they throw the ball, how they manage the game, like they look like to me they look like NFL quarterbacks. This makes me laugh kind of with Alex Highsmith. He's like, I think we can be an elite defense. It's like, dude, you finished last in every statistical category last year. It was like Coach Tomlin at the end of the summer. This is going to be a legendary defense. I mean, you did coach the 2007 Pittsburgh Steelers defense along with Dick LeBeau, one of the greatest defenses to ever play in the NFL. You think you would know what you were looking at. And in August, Tomlin said, this is going to be a legendary defense. And now you have Highsmith kind of saying the same thing. It's like, bro, let's slow it down a little bit. Can we at least get in the top 10 first of every category? Especially when we give up 155 rushing yards per game. Yeah, Pesavante 916, Sam Levitt. Exactly. That's the name. Hines Ward really liked him a lot. I saw him play once or twice. I thought he was pretty good. But I like bigger quarterbacks. Yeah, the Arizona State quarterback. I like bigger quarterbacks. Dylan Raiola, he just looks like a monster out there. He looks like a tight end playing quarterback. He looks like Gronk playing quarterback. The kid from USC, the same thing. He looks like just looks like his stature out there. And they can both move around very well. And both of those guys, they don't get rattled. I don't know. I just like Drew Aller to me for a quarterback emotionally, he's like all over the place. It's like he needs like ADD medications or something. Again, I only watched 4 games of him, but the 4 games that I saw, I was not crazy about him. And I felt like Penn State was really one-dimensional. Like every time that he would pass the ball, it was like holding your breath. I felt like he couldn't move the offense down the field. Wasn't crazy about him at all. I'm not going to get into that. PFF believes Mike McCarthy will help DK Metcalf get back to his best. Yeah, I believe so too. I think they'll be more creative getting DK Metcalf open than Tomlin ever could be in a million years. I completely agree with this. I think DK Metcalf is going to have a great year this year, regardless of who's throwing him the football. Pesavante 916 says height equals ability to see throw over defenses. I mean, people always say that. It's not that I doubt it. You probably could be right. But Brock Purdy was talking about this on the 49ers. He was saying, regardless of how big somebody is, they only see the field 60% of the time, and 40% they don't really even see like the field. They're just throwing the ball based off the coverages. Now, I do like my quarterbacks bigger. I like a Big Ben type quarterback. I like a Phillip Rivers, like, a 6'5", 6'6" quarterback. That's why I really like Dylan Raiola. I think Dylan Raiola is only like 6'3", but he's every bit of 240. And the Samoan kid looks like he's like 6'4", 6'5", 240 also. Like, like they look like really sturdy NFL quarterbacks. But I like a bigger quarterback too, Everybody always talks about them seeing over the line, whether it's an issue or non-issue. You hear all different things, but I do want my quarterback bigger. So I definitely don't want my quarterback the size of Kyle Murray from Arizona. That's for sure. Pro Football Focus Thomas Valentine believes that McCarthy overseeing the offense, basically it's saying that McCarthy overseeing the offense will make Metcalf as one of the top 10 players around the NFL who could flourish under a new coach. It might not be a popular choice, but McCarthy is a Pittsburgh native and will help the Steelers continue to win games. He could also help DK Metcalf, 71.1 grade, 41st in the league, get back to his best. Valentine writes, the Steelers traded for Metcalf ahead of the 2025 season, and he caught 58 passes for 900 yards, his lowest output since his rookie season, along with his 7 touchdowns. I mean, to be fair, he did miss 2 games, and that's his own fault, but Pesavante 916 says Vandy QB Diego Pava is a short. Yeah, he's short, and you know what? He's another guy I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. He gives me Johnny Manziel vibes. I'm good. Listen, we've had enough excitement with Coach Tomlin for the last 19 years. If a guy is even a question mark, I'm talking about the quarterback position. If you even have to question it, like it's like 50-50, I don't want him. I don't want him at all. I want the Steelers to take a quarterback like, like it's Peyton Manning or it's, who's another show, like a Phillip Rivers or whoever, like it's Tom Brady reincarnated. I want, when the Steelers finally draft their quarterback, I want it to be a complete lock. Like the guy is going to work out, so this Diego Pava, I'm good. I don't even want to hear his name unless you're getting him in like the 7th round. His brother getting drunk at Tennessee games. Like his brother gets drunk at every game, tries to fight the cops. His parents try to fight the cops. He's just a mess. I don't want any more issues at the quarterback position. We've had enough with Kenny Pickett. I mean, watching Kenny Pickett was the softest man to ever put an NFL uniform. And think about why Kenny Pickett got mad at Coach Tomlin. Coach Tomlin was like, hey, we're going to bring you in. We're going to bring in competition. We want you to compete for your job. And Kenny Pickett acted like a little woman. You lied to me. Oh, you're making me compete for my job. I want to get traded to Philadelphia. He wanted to get traded to Philadelphia, a place where he would never have a chance to play and sit on the bench and collect a check. I would say that Kenny Pickett is the worst draft pick in Steeler history. Tomlin's got to own that one. Tomlin's got to eat that one because that was his guy. That was his pick. He set the organization back with that pick. Like as soon as I saw the glove, I'm like, dude, this guy, Kenny Pickett was horrible. Pesavante 916 says, I agree. Pavia seems like head case with his Heisman. Exactly. We don't need that. We do not need that. Positive Poke says Mason would get you to the playoffs. I don't think so, man. I think Mason Rudolph is exactly what he is. If you need him for one game, he can play. If you need him for 2 games, it might go bad after 2 games. But anything over 2 games, you're going to see what Mason Rudolph really is. Joe Pa 87114 says, ouch, my wife's family is friends with Diego's family and went to all the Vandy games. Well, then what you would know more than anybody, his other son trying to fight the police every time he gets drunk, right? And then the family acts like, what are you picking on him for? He didn't do anything. It's like, dude, please. Positive Poke says he did better than Cam Ward. I mean, yeah. It's hard to disagree with you. People want TJ Watt traded. I don't want TJ Watt traded. Some guys need to listen. TJ Watt finished the year with 1 less sack than Max Crosby. And then every other category, he beat Max Crosby. And all the same people that are saying trade TJ Watt will tell you that, oh, Max Crosby's the best pass rusher in the league. Jopa 87114 says, is Albuquerque? What do you mean, is Albuquerque? They're from Albuquerque, or I don't get it. Steelers Dan Rooney details Pittsburgh's plans for hosting 2026 NFL Draft. Watt for Crosby would be fantastic. No, it won't. Come on, Positive Pokes. Stop, please. TJ Watt, he had the same exact numbers. Max Crosby I think he just got 100 sacks at like 10 years in the league. He's not better than TJ Watt, please. So close money, Max can line. Positive Pokes. The only reason why TJ Watt wasn't lining up in other places because Tomlin didn't line him up in other places. Joe Pass 87114 says, yes, they are. Well, hey, maybe he could play for the 49ers. I definitely don't want him in a Steelers uniform, that's for sure. Steelers Dan Rooney details Pittsburgh's plans for hosting 2026 NFL Draft. Bro, Positive Pokes, Watt is overhyped. Come on. TJ Watt had 100 more chips than the next player. That means he's getting double teamed and triple teamed 100 more times than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett sees one-on-one, blocking more than anybody. If TJ Watt wasn't that good, they're not double teaming him and triple teaming him the amount of plays that he's getting that. I don't believe that at all. Everybody blames Watt for the lack of pass rush. No, Nick Herbig and Highsmith are to blame. If Watt's getting that much attention, then how come nobody on the defensive line, nobody else on the defensive line is getting sacks? You're blaming the wrong person. Pesavante 916. Will Caleb Johnson play any role next season? I think it's over, Pesavante. I said that from the very beginning. He gives me Roman Wilson vibes. I don't think it's ever going to work out for him. Positive folks, Garrett way better all around. Maybe at this point. Maybe, I mean, I'll give you that, but I'm not Max Crosby. No. Let's see what Dan Rooney had to say about the upcoming draft. The Steelers are getting to host the 2026 NFL Draft in Pittsburgh, and Dan Rooney discussed the city's plans for the event. The team has repeatedly referred to it as its biggest event in the city's history, even the state's, setting out to best the draft hosted by other NFL cities. The Steelers have a tall task ahead of them, but they have also had a big canvas with which to work. Caleb is done. North Shore of Pittsburgh, right outside of our stadium, the massive stage and amphitheater will take place right there, where with a sea of football fans spreading out across our parking lots and over the Point State Park. Rooney told the NFL Network about the draft plans. Our bridges, our rivers will be activated. Just a beautiful landscape to celebrate football. Dan Rooney, whom we also refer to as Daniel Martin Rooney, is the eldest son of team owner Art Rooney II, the presumptive heir apparent to the Steelers franchise. Rooney's current duties include setting up the draft in Pittsburgh. He is also the point man on the team's international presence, including its game in Ireland last year. Positive Poke says, don't they have to sign? Yeah, they're supposed to sign Gainwell. That's why Gainwell and Jaylen Warren are two excellent backs. We don't need any more running backs. Rooney described Pittsburgh draft event as a football festival that will span a great area of the city. On the field surrounding our stadium, on over to Point State Park, he said. He talked about numerous Hall of Famers from the Steelers and from the region who will be at the event. We're just really excited to show that off, he said. And I love that the draft is in Pittsburgh, but I really hope that the franchise, the organization, doesn't get pressured into taking a quarterback that's not ready to play in the NFL. Because you know the fan base is going to want it. It's like, oh, the draft is in Pittsburgh. We want to make the crowd and the fans go crazy. Take a quarterback. And I'm like, hold on, pump the brakes. If it's not Peyton Manning, I don't want a quarterback. Positive Poke says, I'm not a big on Watt. I know people love him, but he disappears a lot, not worth all that money. I mean, you're right about that. I mean, he's getting older, but there's certain guys that have done so much for your franchise that you want them to retire, wearing the same helmet. He could teach the younger guys coming in. He still put up good numbers last year. His numbers are identical to Max Crosby's, so I don't think he should be going anywhere. But I hear you. I mean, sooner or later, the play is going to decline. But here's the problem, too, with the contract. Excuse me. Steelers fans keep talking about TJ Watt's contract. He's getting too much money. He's getting too much money. Well, guess what? If the Steelers would have signed him a year earlier when he wanted to do a deal, they would have saved themselves millions of dollars, like $20, $30, $40 million. The Steelers waited to the last second to give him the contract. Max Crosby set the market. Set the market, excuse me. He got that huge money. And then TJ Watt was like, well, if Max Crosby got that much, I want the same amount too, because I got better numbers than him. The Steelers, Art Rooney and the Steelers and Omar Khan and the Steelers, they are to blame for TJ Watt's massive contract. Yeah, Watt missed a couple games. I mean, but the bottom line is their numbers are identical. So I hear what you're saying. Trust me. Do I want him to, I think TJ Watt has a groin issue. He doesn't talk about it. Sometimes when I see him on the field running, he looks like he's limping quite a bit. Like, I think he has like an abdominal tear, or like maybe he needs a hernia surgery. He doesn't look like he's running or moving very well. That's just from what I see. I really like reading this. CD Lamb says he wants to go vertical with the ball. CD Lamb offers glowing endorsement of Mike McCarthy. Positive Poke says our training staff is garbage. Should have canned them all when Russ got hurt. I mean, they did just all get canned for the most part. I'm not disagreeing with you there. CD Lamb said this about Mike McCarthy. Great guy, Lamb said recently on Ross Tucker's YouTube channel. He loves Pittsburgh. That's my man. I love Mike, Coach McCarthy. Just coming in, he's a great time. As soon as you walk in the building, you're going to feel his energy and you're going to feel what he wants to do. He wants to go vertical with the ball. That's another guy that I feel like I would run through a wall for. Mike did a great job at developing me my first 5 years in the league, and I knew what to prepare for going forward. That's exactly what I want to hear. Pump the ball downfield. Do you think Darnold? Positive Pokes. I wanted the Steelers to sign Sam Darnold so bad. I don't know. I haven't been. I don't pay attention to any other teams. Like, yeah, I know who's playing in the Super Bowl, but when I tell you, like, Roger Goodell makes me hate the NFL, and the only team that I used to watch everything to kind of know what's going on. I've said this a million times, but since Roger Goodell with the woke garbage, it's like I just can't. As soon as the Steelers are off, I turn the TV off and I don't pay attention. Between him and racist Ryan Clark, they just make me not watch the NFL. Positive Poke says, could McCarthy turn Kyler around? He likes him. Kyler Murray, the quarterback from Arizona. I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. Do I like my quarterbacks being that short? Not really, but I mean, would I rather have Kyle Murray over Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, probably. He's been hurt with the pec through 10 times, the game a little more. Are you talking about Kyler Murray from Arizona? Is that what when you say Kyler, is that who you're referring to? How did he hurt his pec? He's a quarterback. I always see him wearing those like man bra things when he works out in those feminine man bras. It's not a good look. Like, dude, put a t-shirt on and cut the shit. You wouldn't catch me dead in one of them. You could pay me $1 million to wear a thing I wouldn't wear. They look like tight little man bras. It's so ridiculous. If you're talking about Kyle Murray from Arizona, I mean, I don't know. If he had a hand. I don't know much about everything that he's had a bad hand with Arizona. They did finally get Harrison, but only had Trey McBride. Joe Pa 87114 says year one, Al looked like the best quarterback PSU had seen in years. Each subsequent season, his performance declined, which is on Franklin and his misused QBs. If there's a quarterback sleeper in the draft, it's Aller. Joe Pa, I definitely, if there is a sleeper, it is him. That's true, but I didn't like what I saw at all. He was just like overly emotional all the time. I felt like we were watching Mason Rudolph 2.0. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully the Steelers get him in the 5th round and he's, better than Dan Marino. I want to be wrong. Trust me when I say it. Positive Pokes. Darnold was hurt. You're talking about Sam Darnold going into this week's Super Bowl? I mean, I don't really pay attention. I don't pay attention to other teams. And I could care less who wins the Super Bowl. Like, I just don't care. Ben Roethlisberger headlines several Steelers at first-time eligibles for Hall of Fame in 2026. Big Ben better get into the Hall of Fame. The Steelers have several former players eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the first time in 2027. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger headlines the list, the most likely to earn first ballot consideration. Also joining him are wide receiver Antonio Brown and running back Le'Veon Bell, the namesakes of the Killer Bees offense. While he didn't spend most of his career in Pittsburgh, cornerback Joe Hayden is also worth acknowledging in Steelers history. Wow. I mean, look at some of these names up for the Hall of Fame. Does the Hall of Fame even mean anything anymore? Gerald McCoy? I mean, Antonio Brown. I mean, it's hard. I don't know, man. That's I don't know. I mean, Rob Gronkowski, yeah, obviously. Big Ben, yeah. A lot of people say Adrian Peterson. I don't know. Who am I to judge? I don't know. Do I think Le'Veon Bell should be in the Hall of Fame? No. I mean, come on. And I'm a Steelers guy. Joe Hayden in the Hall of Fame? Like, does the Hall of Fame even mean anything anymore? You can't have these type of names. Andrew Whitworth in the Hall of Fame. He was average. He was, above average. He's not a Hall of Fame. Richard Sherman, a Hall of Fame player. Cam Newton, a Hall of Fame player. Cam Newton. Like, what the F is this garbage? Like, who votes on this shit? Look at these names for the Hall of Fame. Nothing means anything. Nothing means nothing in the NFL anymore. I mean, don't worry. At this week's Super Bowl, we're going to have an idiot in a dress wearing high heels that's going to refuse to do the performance in English, who's a Satan worshiper. And Roger Goodell is going to tell us, oh, this is one of the most influential artists ever. And if you don't like him, you're a racist, right? That's going to be Roger Goodell. Fucking clown. I try not to curse on the show, but it's just like looking at this, like the NFL is just a complete joke at this point. I mean, Adrian Peterson, okay, fine. I'll give you that. I mean, Eric Weddle had a hell of a career, hell of a player. Do I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame? Probably not. Gerald McCoy? Malcolm Jenkins? Really? Okay, fine. These are above average players. They played a long time in the league. Are they elite players that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? No. Bad Bunny said we don't have to know. Fuck Bad Bunny, piece of garbage. Yeah, wear your 9-inch heels, dude. Roger Goodell turning the NFL into a cesspool. No hard hitting on the field. No hard hitting on the field, but we're going to let a man parade around in a dress at halftime with 8-inch heels that refuses to speak English when he sings a song. But if you don't like that and you have a problem with that as a fan, there's something wrong with you. F Roger Goodell, too. Roger Goodell is a total garbage human being. Roger Goodell hates us. Richard Sherman does not belong in the Hall of Fame. Let's be serious. It's just like, give me the Hall of Fame is a special place for special players. They're not just like okay players. Yeah, Jay-Z is a sex trafficker. Jay-Z is a child sex trafficker. No wonder why we have Bad Bunny. Only Roger Goodell could partner up with Jay-Z and think that's a good thing. Roger Goodell's he is a politician. He's a piece of garbage, and he's turning the NFL into a cesspool. And you know how we know that? Because every second of the game, you're being told to gamble, gamble, gamble. DraftKings, gamble, gamble. That's why. Whatever, dude. I don't want to get into the political aspect of this. F Jay-Z too. They did a memoriam tribute, and of course, they left out Greg Wolfe. Would you expect anything else? Still, 159 NFL games played, including playoffs for Craig Wolfe, and the NFL failed to include him in their memoriam tribute on NFL honors. Yeah, you want to know why? Let me tell you why that Roger Goodell does stuff like this to the Steelers all the time. Let me tell you why. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had the union had a vote, the players had a vote, and the vote was about this. Every team in the league voted to give Roger Goodell full control of the NFL. And he promised them that he would give them more money, like a bigger piece of the pie. The Pittsburgh Steelers were the only team to vote no on giving Roger Goodell full control. And if you notice, like, there's always little digs that Roger Goodell does to the Steelers that are like messed up, like Craig Wolfe not being mentioned for this memoriam. Roger Goodell hates the Steelers. I'm telling you, he does. Positive folks. I'm saying it's terrible to have. Yeah, it's just total trash and garbage. Roger Goodell is just a garbage human being. He hates the average fan. He hates the working man. My favorite part of watching the draft is when Roger Goodell is in his basement. It's probably like a set. It's probably not even his house. And he pretends to be in his lounge chair with his blanket on watching the draft. It's probably a set. It's probably a prop in a set. Look what Roger Goodell has done to the NFL in the game. He wants to add another game to the season, 18 games. Thursday Night Football is complete garbage. It's unwatchable. The players can't recuperate. He claims to be about player safety, but he wants to keep adding games to the schedule. The NFL was a beautiful thing. 16 games was enough. Thursday Night Football needs to be taken down forever. It's complete trash. All the woke garbage, Bad Bunny halftime performances. I don't know, Roger. Is it too much to ask for you to get somebody that's going to perform in English, you effing clown? Is it too much to ask of you to get somebody to perform a man that doesn't want to wear a dress and high heels? You piece of garbage. Roger Goodell is a piece of garbage. Garbage. Turn the NFL into a total cesspool. And I'm telling you, he does stuff intentionally. He does stuff intentionally, like messed up stuff towards the Steelers because they voted not to give him full power. Communism is for not the communists. Thanks. I appreciate it. Positive pokes. The records don't add up with the more game. Please, it's all about the money. That's all it is. Roger Goodell is a piece of garbage. Dude, that's not true. Positive pokes. Pepsi doesn't pick the halftime shows. That's not, Goodell is in charge. Bro, Goodell is in control of all of it. Just stop. Pepsi doesn't tell him what to do. Roger Goodell is an anti-American communist that hates the average fan. And how do we know this? From the garbage that you see every weekend on the field. You can't hit anybody anymore. The woke garbage, the political messaging, the ridiculous flags. We're having Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. It's just ridiculous already. Bro, I don't want to hear about Pepsi. I don't know. Listen, Roger Goodell is in charge, and he's responsible for the downfall in the NFL. All the rule changes. The most exciting play in football is the kickoff in every single game. Oh, we're going to do two-hand touch now. There's no more kickoff. Roger Goodell, do us all a favor. Get the F out of the NFL and go be the commissioner of tennis, of badminton, of women's pickleball. I don't give a shit. Just get out of the NFL. Can't stand him. Piece of garbage. Oh, you don't like Bad Bunny? You don't like a man in high heels that wears 8-inch high heels? How dare you? Yeah, but we already know he's going to go political during the halftime event. Yeah, Bad Bunny. A grown man that calls himself Bad Bunny, wears dresses and high heels. But if you got a problem with that, there's something wrong with you. Roger Goodell, F you. F you. All right, I'm done. You had to get me I'm trying not to take the show political, so let me just stop while I'm ahead. I apologize, everybody tuning into sports. But you know what? Roger Goodell really pisses me off. And if you watch the show, you know how much I can't stand the man. So listen, I'm going to end it with this. James Harrison said it best. If Roger Goodell was on fire, I wouldn't piss on the man to put him out. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.